The Avon Police Department says a former daycare worker is now facing additional sexual assault charges. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Priscilla Meza. On April 1st, Giancarlos Barrios Otero, an employee of Bright Path Daycare in Avon, was arrested and charged with sexual assault and risk of injury to a minor. But now Avon Police says detectives have now secured additional arrest warrants related to the case. They say Barrios Otero faces more charges in connection to 6 incidents involving 5 children. Police say he will also be charged with aggravated sexual assault of a minor due to the number of victims under the age of 13. Now, police say Barrios Otero will be arraigned on the new charges in Torrington in the near future. Police are encouraging any parents with concerns to contact detectives or the Child Abuse Investigation Team of Northwest Connecticut. Human remains have been found in the woods in Chaplin. Fox 61's Tim Lateau has the latest from the scene and what investigators have revealed.
This field was filled with law enforcement vehicles for most of Friday, but state police say the human remains were found within a half-mile that way in the woods. Right now, investigators believe the remains may be connected to a woman who went missing in the fall. The area near Bedlam Road and North Bedlam Road in Chaplin is filled with forest and farmland. Connecticut State Police troopers swarmed the scene just after 8 Friday morning. They say they got a call from people who were walking in the woods when they came across what looked like human remains. Troopers confirmed the remains are human and called in the Eastern District Major Crimes Unit. This division of the state police is typically called out when there's evidence of a violent crime. Investigators were seen with canine units and were on scene for more than 8 hours. The area under investigation is near the Natchog River and Stonehouse Brook. It's surrounded by farms, small businesses, a church, and cemetery. State police say the investigation is active and ongoing. The next step is for the remains to be identified. In Chaplin, Tim Lateau, Fox 61.
Well, people across the central U.S. spent the day cleaning up after multiple tornadoes touched down yesterday, including this powerful twister that devastated parts of Enid, Oklahoma, about 65 miles northwest of Oklahoma City. At least 10 people were hurt, but no deaths have been reported. Governor Kevin Stitt says the state is working with local leaders to assess the damage and determine next steps. Nearby Vance Air Force Base was also impacted. It lost power and water. Taking a look at your weather here in Connecticut.
We're good here. You know, over there, that's because of the very hot, humid air reacting with the cold winter air up to the north.
That's Tornado Alley there in Oklahoma.
That's Tornado Alley, too, and there's a lot more going on there. So we're lucky up here in the Northeast. When we have heat and humidity, we get severe weather, too, Priscilla, but not this time. Instead, unfortunately, this weekend is going to feature some chilly temperatures. But let me go to the map, and I'm going to show you where those severe weather outbreaks are now from that system earlier, and it's still down there. Now going into northeast Texas, you could see that the picture here and zooming in, there's a tornado warning in northeast Texas there, severe thunderstorm warnings as well. So this line continues to push down towards Jackson, Mississippi, where there's more severe weather. So that's what's going on with that system. For us, we're good. So overnight, actually temperatures right now are very chilly. They're already down in the lower middle 40s. In fact, we do have a frost advisory for the northern 4 counties inland, or the northern southern counties, the inland areas of the southern counties, if you get that, until 8 o'clock. That's because temperatures are going to be down into the 30s, lower and middle 30s. They'll be even colder than what you see here. And a lot of you wake up around 30 to 35, increasing clouds tomorrow morning. Still dry for most of us, and then we're going to watch a little bit of light rain roll in later on in the afternoon, and especially in the evening for everybody. The rain will take a while, but once it gets here, it'll stick around through Sunday morning. I'll have all the details on that rain and what you can expect into next week. Priscilla?
Thank you, Sam. A Hamden man has been sentenced to 80 years in prison for a deadly shooting in New Haven. Trevion Battle was sentenced this week for the 2017 murder of Norman Boone and the shooting of a second man. Prosecutors say both victims were shot on Dickerman Street. Boone later died from his injuries, while the second victim survived. A jury found Battle guilty earlier this year on charges including murder, assault, and firearm offenses. A North Branford man is facing multiple charges in connection with a road rage incident in East Haven. Police say 28-year-old Sigfredo Torres got into a fight with another man near Foxton Road and Green Street on April 14th. Now, investigators say Torres punched the victim several times and hit him with a motorcycle helmet after he fell. Now, the victim suffered serious injuries to his face and head. A home was damaged in Waterbury this morning after a dump truck rolled back into it. Officials say the driver accidentally let the truck move backwards, striking the house. Building inspectors assessed the damage and say there was no structural issues and no one was hurt. Now, a home in Ansonia is condemned tonight as part of an animal cruelty investigation. Investigators say they found 39 dogs and 2 ferrets at a home on Schumacher Drive, where 2 adults and 3 children live. They say the home was full of garbage and animal waste. Police say all the dogs appear healthy, but a vet will check them to be safe. The children were taken to the hospital to be evaluated. The Department of Children and Families is also looking into the case. Now take a look at this. North Stonington firefighters rescued a driver after their car crashed into the Schunak River. Officials say the driver was taken to the hospital but is expected to be okay. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. All right, construction crews are once again tasked with fixing the latest water main break in Waterbury's infrastructure. Crews spent most of the day tackling the break in Thomaston. Fox 61's Stephen Reels has the latest.
This is probably the calmest the area has been since the break happened, and you'll see that in just a second, where crews have been working around the clock to fix this. However, at this time, it's still unclear about when this will all be taken care of. While this is in Thomaston, the Waterbury Water Department actually oversees this line that was impacted. The good news, according to the city, is the break didn't affect homes in a big way. Really, it was only a little water pressure drop around 6 a.m. But that's been restored. However, this still caught a lot of people off guard when construction crews were here.
We was coming into work today, and then we seen the ground had it looked like a big hole, and it was like a lot of brown water. We didn't have no water for like 2 hours. Thomaston and Waterbury and stuff, you know, I feel like they got to do a better job on their water main. There's been a lot of water going on and off here and there for like the last couple of months.
This comes after a series of water main breaks the Waterbury system has experienced over the last several months. This includes one from December that happened on Thomaston Avenue, which leaders said was due to the system's old infrastructure, parts of which are estimated to be 130 years old. This most recent break is just up the road from a part of the system that was uplined earlier this year. At the moment, the water line is shut down and the crews have most of the parts they need to fix it. The last remaining should arrive over the course of the weekend. But until then, these road closures and detours will stay in place. And a city spokesperson told me that there is still a chance some people may notice some discoloration in their water, but that should quickly resolve itself as long as you let your faucet run for a little bit. In Thomaston, Stephen Reels, Fox 61.
A Cheshire High School student who was arrested by immigration enforcement officers earlier this month is back home and back in school. The senior was detained on April 6th and he posted bond earlier this week. Today, the Cheshire community gathered to celebrate his return. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson shares what the moment means to those who know him.
Just a few weeks ago, Rayhan was arrested by ICE officers and taken to Plymouth County Correctional Facility. It was a scary situation for a high schooler set to graduate in just 2 months. It was a terrifying moment for Rayhan and his uncle when they were cornered by immigration enforcement officers earlier this month. This week, Rayhan was granted release and welcomed home by his loved ones. Andrea Sanchez from Connecticut Students for a Dream says it's something no teenager should go through.
Rayhan is a high schooler. He should be worrying about homework and college apps and what he's doing this weekend with his friends. Instead, he experienced something that no young person in this country should ever have to go through. He was detained by federal immigration enforcement.
Rayhan had a bail hearing in Massachusetts on Monday. The judge granted him a $1,500 bond and allowed him to return home. Attorney Lauren Peterson says Rayhan's 2 weeks in the detention center is a lot shorter than many cases like this.
One of the things the judge commented on in making his decision to release Rayhan was on the letters of support in the record that have been provided by his high school teachers, indicating his ties to the community and the esteem in which his community held him.
Rayhan's teachers welcomed him back to school on Tuesday. Science teacher Susan Chasen wrote a letter to advocate for his return.
Rayhan is a role model in our community. He has shown that hard work and kindness can lead to success in the classroom and in life. It is my most sincere hope that Rayhan and his family, who have already sacrificed so much to the benefit of our American troops, will be able to live peacefully in Cheshire.
We're working through the immigration courts to try to get his proceedings terminated.
Rayhan's immigration status still remains an uphill battle. Right now, the focus is to keep him in Cheshire for the foreseeable future.
Not everyone is so lucky. People get whisked away and are practically not heard of again. We're so lucky to have the opposite in this situation.
We were asked by Rayhan's attorney not to show any video of his face for safety reasons, and Rayhan declined to make a comment. His attorney does say that he's still on track to graduate with his peers on June 10th. In Cheshire, Jamel Johnson at Fox 61.
A U.S. soldier is facing charges for allegedly using classified information to make more than $400,000. Federal officials say Master Sergeant Gannon Ken Van Dyke used insider knowledge from a U.S. raid involving Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro to place bets on a prediction market site. A judge in North Carolina allowed him to be released on bond today, and he's been ordered to appear in federal court in New York next week. Prosecutors say the site Polymarket allows users to bet on outcomes ranging from politics to sports. Now, the Trump administration has frozen $344 million in cryptocurrency reportedly linked to Iran. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the U.S. is sanctioning multiple digital wallets as it works to increase pressure on Tehran during a ceasefire. The move comes as diplomatic efforts to end the conflict remain uncertain. Officials say countries like Iran, Russia, and North Korea are increasingly using crypto markets to raise money and evade sanctions.